Okay, here's our video on multiplication and division expressions. Here are some keywords. We have product, times, multiply, and of. Of is a big term, which we'll talk about in a minute. Like, for example, if we did this expression 3/4 of 12, well, we know of means multiplication. So this is 3/4 of 12. Could also be 3/4 with 12 over 1, because every whole number could be over 1. So we can see the multiplication sign with the X, but for the most, we see it with this dot. It could also be 3/4 with parentheses times 12. 3/4 of 12. That's a multiplication expression. How would you do this? 3 times a number. Well, a number is the variable. And remember, this is an algebraic expression because it has variables. 3 times a number. Could be 3g. Could be 3x. We can use any variable, x or g. Try not to make it, though, like this. Even though multiplication is commutative like addition, we prefer it like this, most math teachers. So just if it says 3 times a number, or a number times 3, just usually put the number first, then the variable. And there's a name for this. The number is called the coefficient. Anytime there's a number next to a letter, that's multiplication. And the number next to the letter is called the coefficient. I'll talk about that in a minute. How would you do this? 1/5 of a number. Well, again, of means multiplication, so it's 1/5 times a number. And here's something to know. Anytime we just have a number and a letter, in multiplication we can put them together. So I can just say 1/5 x. This is the coefficient, that's the variable. How would you do this? The product of 4 and 9. Well, the product is multiplication, so we can do 4 times 9. But this is how we would normally write it, with the dot. We can even use parentheses. Parentheses does mean multiplication. And since multiplication is commutative, you can also switch it around. Let's look at division now. Here are some keywords in division. The quotient, divide or divided, split equally, half a number. So let's look at a number divided into 4 parts. Well, we know it's division. So here's a number divided into 4 parts. Let's mix subtraction and multiplication. How would you do that? Well, remember when we talked in subtraction, 4 less than 5 times a number. This is somewhat tricky. First of all, we need to know PEMDAS. You know PEMDAS already. 5 times a number. That's 5 times a number. And we want to do 4 less than that. This is 4 less than that. 4 less than 5 times a number. Again, we do not want to do it like this. This is saying 5 times a number less than 4. If you remember subtraction. So we don't want to do it that way. It's this way. 4 less than 5 times a number. Try this one. A number divided by 3 increased by 2. Again, we're using two operations here. We know division with divided, and we know addition with increased. A number divided by 3. Here's a number divided by 3. Increased by 2. Now, since addition is commutative, we could have switched this around if we wanted to. A number divided by 3 increased by 2. Let's try this one. 30 minus half a number. We know minus is subtraction, and we know half tells us division. 30 minus half a number. Anytime we see half, we use 2. 2 always cuts something in half. 30 minus half a number. This one's a little tricky though. Keep in mind on the terminology. 30 less than half a number. Well, again, less than is the key word. Half a number, we use a 2, and then we put the 30 at the end because it's 30 less than this. If this said 30 minus, like in the previous question, 30 minus, we put the 30 first. But since it said 30 less than, we put the 30 last. 30 less than half a number. Try this one. The quotient of 10 and 2. Quotient means division. We can write it like this. Fraction. It looks like a fraction. Well, fractions are division. We can write it like this. We could just say this. This one's a challenge. See if you can make an expression out of this. We have, in parentheses, 5 plus c. Make it bigger. And then we have this. Since we have parentheses, remember in PEMDAS, parentheses comes first. So this is saying the sum of 5 and a number divided by half a number. Division and subtraction are not commutative. Remember that. Just to go over some terms again, like we said before, the coefficient is the number next to the variable in multiplication. This means multiplication. 5 times m. 5 is the coefficient. This means 7 times g, and 7 is the coefficient. Great. Our next lesson now, we will talk about exponents.